What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. My name is Splattercat. Very happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while and check out Harebrained Schemes' next addition to their super awesome duo of games. And now it's a trio, I guess. So anyways, the games just keep getting better. I can't wait to see what's around the corner when we play this game because, in all honesty, Dragonfall was so much better than Shadowrun Returns that, like, I really expect there to be a measurable, tangible, iterative gain in this game. So I'm hoping they give you a little bit more freedom. That's always what I've wanted. I really hope Harebrained stays successful with these because, in all honesty, what I would love to see is down the line, I would absolutely 100% love to have like a Grand Theft Auto Saints Row type of game set in the Shadowrun world, or maybe if not that, something more along the lines of, you know, Skyrim or Oblivion. It would make me happy. So what do I do now? We had met this lady before, and we had to go do something. It's flagging me off in this direction. Let me look at my objective real quick. It wants me to go into the walled city and deliver a message to Bao. Yeah, I remember that part, but I thought they said I could take one person with me. I'll take him. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. But I'd like to have another mage with me. Like, not having a mage is a little bit worrying. Let's go through, and you don't get to actually adjust the stats of people in your party. It kind of just goes up as you level up. So as you gain karma, so do the people in your party, and they just apply it to the things that they think they should have. It's kind of like playing a tabletop game with other people. You can't really control... well, what I'll put it like this. There's two types of gaming groups in the world. There's ones that are very open, and they allow people to talk to each other and help them decide what they want to spend their points on. And then there's a different group, like the ones that I play with, where you're like, dude, shut up, let him build his character, and you just let people make mistakes and have a good time with it. If it's one or the other, you'll kind of prefer one system. This doesn't bother me so much that my characters get to apply their own stats, because I used to play in a gaming group where, you know, you weren't allowed to give people build advice unless it was like away from the gaming table and everybody was broken up. Like, in general, at the gaming table, we'd be like, no, let him build his character, dude. Don't tell him what to do. Just let him have fun with it. That's what this is supposed to be about. Let him build the character that he wants. And even if it ends up sucking and like dragging the rest of us down, it's part of the storyline. You built a bad character. Sometimes people develop bad life skills. That's a real life thing. I've got loads of bad, inequitable life skills. Can't help it. It just sort of happens. So I think what we're going to go for, we got 9 karma right now, which is actually pretty solid. I would like to have cyberware really, really badly. However, most of the cyberware upgrades, they appear to come with only melee, and I'm not totally sure why that is. I'm pretty positive that later on we'll be able to get dermal plating and stuff like that down the line. I think these are just bonus attacks that go with the cyberware that is combat related. So I don't think we need these stats in order. I don't think we need to put points in bot in order to get cyberware later on. There's a thing called essence, which is essentially how human you are. It's a stat that we have. In fact, I can show it to you on my character sheet. Where is it? 5. There it is right there. Essence is a measurement of how human you are. Right now, we are 5 units of human. That's about all that I can say about it. Now, for magic, you have to be more human because the ether doesn't like to tap into machines. It likes to tap into the raw spiritual energy of a living thing. And so, if your essence is high, it helps you be a better mage. You don't want to lose essence if you're a mage. That's a bad thing. However, if you have no magical affinity and you're unawakened, there's really no reason to care. Like, you can seriously just become RoboCop if you want to, and it's probably going to benefit you long run if you have no other reason to do it. Some people will disagree with me, but really, sincerely, I prefer to be super cybered out if I have no other things in front of me. You might as well. We got strength. I should probably stick with our core stats for right now. Apparently, we can be a medic, too. I didn't realize that biotech was a thing. What does wisdom do? Ah, it's for spellcasting. That's going to be for the adept. Gotcha. It's going to be for the adept. So I should probably go with Class B. We probably won't be able to get Class B drones for a while. That's the only part that I'm worried about, is I want to put points into things that I am like... This rank in Drone Combat 3 is beyond the current Drone Control 2. Yeah, that seems pretty self-explanatory. Oh, you gotta go. Never mind, I'm an idiot. I wasn't paying attention. I was having trouble reading it. Sorry. I have brain farts every now and again. If you're new to the Nerd Castle, occasionally what's gonna happen is I'm not gonna have like a good breakfast, or I'm not gonna sleep well. I don't know what it is. Maybe just the random ley lines of the earth do not align properly, but I have these moments where I just stare blankly at the screen, and I read the thing over and over and over again, and for some reason it just doesn't click. I feel like an idiot when it happens, but I don't know. Every now and again it occurs, and there's not much you could do about it. So with my 9 points here, going all into decking would be pretty cool. Getting ourselves into a Fuchi would be badass. We can get to a Fairlight Calibre, which is like the coolest shit ever in Shadowrunning terms. Can we go up even higher? It looks like we can sort of go higher, but that's going to be limited by our intelligence maybe. Maybe I'll go core stat for right now. Doesn't seem like a bad plan going core stat. And then we'll get... oh, I don't know, drone control 3. Looks pretty good. I'm not going to rely too heavily on my ability to shoot people. I'll probably start leveling up my gunning abilities later on in the game once we've got all this stuff maxed out. We don't need to worry about it anymore. But for right now, I really want to make sure that my core stuff, as like a decker and a rigger, are copacetic, I guess. So anyways, let's go ahead and confirm right there. We'll drop that on back. And I guess we'll go do our mission. We don't really have I thought we were going to get to pick one of the two of them to come with us, but who knows. Looks like it's not going to work for me right now, so I'm not going to, like, try and mash a square peg through a round hole if it don't work like that. I noticed we have over 1,200 new yen, which is actually a pretty good starting point. As a reference, it costs about 5 new yen to get a cup of coffee, or soy calf is what they call it in this world. I love that pixelated logo. That's badass. I like it. I'm a sucker for anything retro. I am a giant sloppy bitch for retro things. And you know what? Sometimes I hate myself and I feel hipsterish for it, but I don't know. I grew up during that time period, so it speaks to me. It speaks to me. Sometimes literally, because pixelated stuff nowadays is fully voiced, so who knows. Triad guard. Actually, there's a duo of guards here, but whatever. Not going to pick at it. He taps his earpiece and gestures with his head. Ani Chang said you'd be coming. You can pass. Uh-huh. It was a deep conversation. We plumbed the well of human... oh, look, we get to pick people. I knew it. I knew we get to pick some people, so you can also hire runners if you want. I'll show you some of the other runners later on. In fact, in the first game, I rarely brought like any of the storyline people. I always bought the hired runners because they were way better. I will take Gobbet for sure because I just want to have a heal on us. They nerfed healing, by the way. Healing used to, like... I think the cooldown was a lot shorter on healing before. They nerfed it now, so it's got a long cooldown on it, so you got to be careful about it. Skills and cyberware... that's fine. I mean, can we only bring 3? That's what she was talking about. Okay, we're good. So later on, you'll be able to click this right here, and you'll be able to call people on the phone and whatnot and hire other people with various skill sets. Things that you might find to be cool, just in case. Ooh, she got herself some level 2 fetishes. Okay. These right here, what they do is they allow you to summon an elemental just in case you need it, and it can dig you out of trouble from time to time, believe me. Anyways, let's be on our way. You see that right there? That was like 8 seconds of silence. How often does that happen in the Nerd Castle? Kowloon Walled City, the most densely populated spot on Earth. Nearly 40,000 people crammed into 7 acres of chaos, poverty, disease, and vice. A self-contained city that collects no taxes and provides no city services. Stagnant water sits in temporary wells, trash lies piled up on roofs for controlled burns, improvised structures lean dangerously over populated areas. It's the ideal breeding ground for all manner of illicit trade. Drugs, gambling, black market trade, metahuman trafficking, and everything in between. The only law is Triad law. And now you need to enter the septic system of a city, find a Triad enforcer named Strangler Bao, and deliver a message from Kindly Chang. I bet you this guy, so that's equipment and stash. Awesome. I don't really want to deal with any of that right now. This all seems nice to me. I don't think we need anything extra. It looks like, oh, it looks like maybe later on you'll be able to buy gear. So this was a big sticking point for a lot of people in the last game. They hated the fact, like, people could deal with the fact that you didn't get to level up all of your side characters and, like, apply their points manually. But people really got stuck on the fact that you couldn't buy them guns and be like, here, use this better gun that I bought with my money so that you don't suck. And I had read something about the fact that you'll be able to loan guns in this game, and so it looks like you should be able to do that. Might be a cool thing to do later on. Right now it's saying that they're locked, but maybe later on that'll come undone. I don't really know. Yeah, it looks like we can't drag it out, so maybe later on we'll be able to. We'll find out. I hope they got rid of that system because it'd be really, really nice to be able to equip people in the way that you see fit. She's got a really cool portrait. I like how they sort of elongated the trolls, made them look a little bit more like World of Warcraft trolls almost. I don't know. They're kind of like taffy-eyed, I guess. I love taffy. Saltwater taffy is a real concern to my diet. If there's saltwater taffy around, you best believe I'm going to eat that shit all day long. Foul, oily water rains down on you from above, mixes with the filth and offal and swill of the streets. It turns it into a flowing slurry of unrecognizable sewage. Street wine. In the distance, the sounds of back alley activity add to the ambiance of your arrival. Breaking glass, the crackling hiss of a garbage fire, faint screams of terror punctuated by the occasional gunshot. Sex and business and violence and misery blended into one. Wu winces at the stink, waves a hand in front of his face. Raymond said that prosperity is in the walled city, but I don't see it. Why the hell would he want to set one foot in this place? You got me. As I said, the walled city is the worst slum in the Eastern Hemisphere, maybe in the world. A rat pokes its head out of the fold of her clothing. It squeals softly, then reaches up a hand to comfort it. She reaches up a hand. There's something wrong with this place. It isn't just a slum. It feels poisonous somehow. On an astral level, it churns my stomach to even come near it. Wu nods in agreement. Yeah, okay, you were right. This isn't the Barrens. It feels, I don't even know, thicker? He goggles the place. Which way? The Lotus Den. That's what Bao calls his little corner of hell. I don't know where it is offhand, but I have a way of finding things. There's a flurry of motion at her hip, and a second pair of beady eyes appears. Gobbet shifts her hand from one rat to the other, stroking each in turn. They probably aren't expecting anybody to come in force. We can kick in the door, drop the guards, hand over the message, and get the hell out. She said that the guards are her guards, though, so I'd prefer to keep casualties low. Kindly doesn't want them dead. She wants them to remember where their loyalties lie. It's tough to remember much of anything when you've got a bullet in your head. I mean, we could kill them if you really wanted to, and technically Bao is the only one that has to live, but I'd rather keep Ani Chang happy than piss her off again. Alright, well, the group's safety is my biggest concern. We don't need to risk our necks for a bunch of triad thugs. I like the way you think. Damn right. Let's do this. I like that we have a tight group from the beginning right here. The second game, it really felt like you had nobody until you got, like, I guess a quarter of the way through the game where you started to make friendships and learn about people. I like how this game didn't kill off everybody you know from back in the day right in the beginning. I don't know, it makes it feel a little bit more structured and friendly. It's nice to know somebody has your back. From a role-playing perspective, I like the fact that my character has somebody to lean on right now, like, lean on me when you're not swear, Duncan Woo. It seems nice to me. The merchant. I have wares, would you like to see? There they are, my wares. It's a merchant. A bedraggled, I guess it would have to be a mermaid for it to be really, really punny. A bedraggled old woman looks up from her sewing at the sound of your approach. Clothing. Clothing. I have good quality clothing for sale. Let's see. Ever heard anybody say prosperity is in the walled city? She cocks her head like a dog listening to a noise that it can't understand. Prosperity? She says it out to herself. I don't know what that means. What's the news here? Anything interesting? Interesting? Here? Nah. Nothing changes here. Nothing changes. She settles her weight with an audible harumph. Stranger Bao is the big man now. He's very important and very impatient. You know Bao? Yeah, we're real close friends. Well, you tell your friend that he still owes me for that suit. I don't sew for nothing. You can't eat air. We'll get right on that. She nods sagely. You see that you do. Now what else do you want? Later, lady. Be funny if that actually gave us a quest to, like, get her paid. Honestly, I just give her the new one. I'm a really nice guy in video games. I'm a nice guy in real life, too. I don't know. I feel bad for people. I empathize easily. A putrid stench emanates from the remains of this building. Unfortunately, our little eyeball thing went away. So there's a dead guy right there. Step over the dead guy, kids. Yep, we're going to try and make it back to our side of town. Yeah, it was an accident. I took a wrong turn. I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. Just, yep, step over the dead guy. Watch the vomit over there. Watch out, kids. We've got a bloodied woman. Jesus, this place. A young woman lies on the ground. She's a bloody mess. Streaks and spatters of crimson crisscross her blouse and mat her hair. Judging by the quality of her clothing and the bag on her shoulder, you'd make her out as a student. She's as out of place here as a librarian would be in a game of urban brawl. She struggles to move, but she's clearly exhausted. The dark circles under her eyes tell you that she hasn't slept in days. When the woman sees you heading her way, her face hardens. You see her hand slip into her jacket pocket, but as she studies your face, as the fear in her eyes gives way to curiosity. You guys don't look like you're from around here. A hacking cough shakes her, but her eyes remain fixed on you. Yeah, that's right. We're out-of-towners. Cool. That's cool. She looks like she can barely keep her eyes open. Predators. I'm okay, though. The blood's theirs. Just thought I'd rest here for a minute before I got back to work. Work? You here on a job? She shakes her head. Nah, school. I'm a student at HKU. She glances around watchfully over your shoulder at the buildings looming over into windows nearby. I'm here to do some research. I gotta finish before I can leave. This place is dangerous. What are you doing here alone? I wasn't alone. It's not until a few days ago. I've been living with a family in one of the inner blocks for the last couple of months, working on my master's thesis. Funny place to write a thesis. Her voice takes on a defensive edge. It's the right place for mine. My thesis is on Feng Shui in the 6th world. What does Feng Shui have to do with a slum? Everything, I think. Absolutely everything. Rich people hire geomancers to design the interiors of their homes, to attune them just right to achieve balance and harmony. The poor don't have anything like that. You leave a slum to fester long enough and you get this. She glances at her surroundings, a look of profound disgust on her face. And you know, I hadn't thought about that, but in a world where magic has returned, Feng Shui I kind of disregarded as hocus pocus right now in the real world. But in the world of Shadowrun, where magic has come back and exists, I guess it would work, wouldn't it? Well, anyways, I'm not saying that, I mean, if you believe in Feng Shui, good for you, I guess. Whatever puts a smile on your face, but not for me. I don't know, hokum doesn't do it for me. I think that the negative Feng Shui of places like this affects the people who live here. It changes them in a fundamental way and makes them less capable of breaking the cycle and getting out. That's what I'm trying to prove. Before the awakening, people thought of Feng Shui as a philosophical system. Now in the 6th world, it's more than that. It's actually a form of magic. The whole thing revolves around Qi, the invisible life energy that binds every person and thing together. It's very real here in Hong Kong. Nobody knows the reason why. Maybe it's only real because people believe that it is. The important thing is that it's measurable, quantifiable as a phenomenon. There's an entire industry that's grown up around it. So how's the key in this place? You don't even need to ask that, dude. It's wrong. It's all wrong. The Feng Shui in the walled city is completely screwed. And I mean, look at the place. She gestures at the squalor surrounding you. You can feel it, right? I felt that something was wrong the minute I walked in. Bad Qi, huh? Yeah. Bad Feng Shui. Qi needs to flow or it goes sour. Positive Feng Shui allows that to happen. The woman clears her throat, then lets out a hacking cough. The effort requires a moment for her to recover before she speaks again. You know, I hate to admit it, but I could use some help. I started running well, I guess you call it an experiment of sorts. Nothing conclusive, just a few quick trials to support my hypothesis before I go into the hardcore data gathering mode. There are only a few things left to do. If you could finish them for me, I could get out of here. She holds up a crumpled piece of paper. Please, just follow the notes on the sheet. Duncan takes the paper from her outstretched hand and examines it, frowning. Just say what you need us to do. I need you to make adjustments to the area's Feng Shui. My notes will tell you how. The goal is to remove the sources of friction and to record the results. My hypothesis is that even small adjustments can have measurable impacts on Qi flow. If I'm right, it should improve, and life here should just get a little bit better. Alright, you rest. I'll take care of it. Hopefully we get paid. That girl is looking mauled. So, repair the the walled city, I guess. I'll keep an eye out for anything interactable, I suppose. I don't see anything out this way. Nobody really to talk to. It's odd how this all just kind of like hovers over the abyss. I don't know. I'd be terrified I'd trip and fall while eating a burrito or something off into the darkness. This one's mine. Step off. The trash pile is yours? Being defensive over nothing over here. Let's see, he's got a giant teddy bear. The rest of his life might be ruined, but his giant teddy bear's got to be pretty awesome. Maybe this will do something over here. Looks like that lantern's interactable too. What is this? Wires are sparking dangerously just above the doorway. I'm going to walk away for a second. And I wanted to look at her note before I did anything else. I got a mission item over here. The crumpling note has a list of repairs, most of them crossed off. There are a few left, scrawled in an uneasy hand. The sparking wires by the trinket man, the broken water shut-off valve, and the burning tires. I don't know Feng Shui, so I don't know if fixing it is what we should do or if we should just remove it. Let's patch the worn-out coating. A quick patch job with some nearby waste rubber leaves the wires safe once more. Alright, well, we'll talk to this guy too. The street vendor gestures towards a jumbled pile of tarnished chains, costume, jewelry, and trinkets on a stained flannel blanket. Look at these beauties. Valuable, huh? Very pretty. Alright, well, show me what you're selling. He's got fetishes. That's quite a bit more sophisticated than what I thought he had. Okay. You ever heard anybody say prosperity is in the walled city? Nah, that's not something that somebody would say around here. Alright then. Let's go see if we can find this trash fire or whatever it was talking about, that tire fire or whatever. I didn't see, maybe they became interactable after we came here, so we should probably backtrack for just a minute too and make sure there's not anything that we missed back in here. We might get a med kit or something out of this. Well, she's on one knee now. That's not too bad. I thought she was laying on the ground for a while, but she looks okay now. I mean, I don't know, taking a knee's a little bit more successful than just like falling over half dead. I don't see much over here. I don't see much. But I know I want that tire. Okay, so backtracking didn't turn out for us. I got my Aaron Neville on, man. I grew up with that Aaron Neville shit. You gotta get that. It's R&B. You gotta turn it on. Everybody, I mean, that's mood music right there. Just be aware. I don't know, it's music for the 10-yard line. I'll put it like that. It's, you gotta flip it on real fast. I don't know much. Mm-hmm. It'll do it. But I know I love you. Oh, that's goofy. Alright, let's go. Check this out over here. The market stall has been picked clean. Its owner replaced by a dried pool of blood. That's a pretty talented pool of blood. Spiritual energy. Gobbet comes up short. She gestures down at a pile of filthy rags on the ground. A man's shirt encrusted with dried blood and grime. Whoa, hold up. This cloth has a lot of negative energy coming off of it, and I think there's a spirit bound to it. Interesting. What can you tell me about it? It's a ghost. Either that or a spirit of a man that thinks it's a ghost, but it's hard to be sure. She stares at the cloth, frowning. Whatever it is, it's upset. I can feel its anger and sorrow from here, but that's all I can get from it while it's hiding like this. I could coax it out and talk with it if you want. Maybe it'll lead to something. She shrugs. Or it could just attack us and rip out our souls. There's really no way to tell without trying. Yeah, go for it. Let's find out what it has to say. Sure thing. Her eyes go beady and her nose crinkles. Just let me try and establish a connection. Today I learned that the afterlife is like the internet at the library. The wireless at the internet. The wireless internet at the library. It just has that little thing that spins around the entire time with the yellow exclamation point. Attempting connection. Oh shit, look at you over here, Tron. The air above the bloody rags shimmers. Slowly something close to man-shape coalesces into being. A soft voice echoes out from deep inside as if it began somewhere else. What is this? The spirit peers at you through its eyes as soft and undefined as poached eggs. Where am I? You've shed, or you're in Cal. That's not what he asked, I guess. Kowloon, the walled city. His expression changes and moves from lost to found. Still? It raises its hands to examine them, blank eyes sweeping over dead flesh. How? What's the last thing you remember? The last thing? The spirit searches for the sky for an answer. I was pushed out of my shop, hunted through alleys. The spirit's mouth widens in horror. Bao. Bao and his men. I wouldn't pay them, wouldn't accept their protection. Proud. I was too proud. A cold light flares from somewhere deep in its throat. They tore me apart and butchered me. Like I was a duck, It searches the sky, the ground, tearing at memories inside of itself. As it relives its own death, a network of deep cuts opens on its waxy skin, spattering black ichor on the ground. The cold light within it grows brighter. It pulses up to the thing's throat and into its mouth, forcing its jaw to unhinge like a snake's. A burning radiance pours out of the spirit's mouth like vomit, spattering to the ground in an ectoplasmic flood of anger and despair. Maybe you can help us. Help? It looks confused. I can. We need to get past Bao's guards and into the walled city so that we can find him. The spirit's eyes roll in its head and it shudders, struggling to let the passion dissipate. I had a friend. It squeezes its eyes shut as it struggles to remember. A smuggler of animals. He had a space, hidden secret. Yes, spirit, tell me about the secret space. An entrance in the sub-levels. The spirit clasps its head in its hands. A chute. A door, red paint. And numbers 5, 4, 6, and 5. 5, 4, 6, and 5. Thank you, spirit. The entity squeezes its eyes shut and turns away. Huh. Crazy. I don't know, it's unnatural. I can empathize with that. That makes me feel real bad. Like, I don't believe in the supernatural. But deep down in my gut, there's something unnatural about somebody not being gone once they're dead. Even if there's nothing after you die, being trapped in between here and whatever's next, right? If there is something next, being trapped in between would seem terrible, because you're dead. Like, your struggle's supposed to be over with, right? At least you hope it is. My God, if you die and then you go on to something else where you do the same thing in this life, that's gonna suck, because life is a struggle, I'll tell you that much. Like, I kind of hope you get some kind of, like, spiritual recliner after this whole thing. Or, honestly, if there's just nothing, that's fine, too, as long as there's not something. Anyways, I'm going to end the episode off on that note. I will see you all later. How you do, everybody?